dieting. You're quote-unquote fasting for Jesus, aka I want to do something Christian, but at the same time, it's going to be for my benefit.
Man, why did you have to out me on the podcast?
I'm sorry.
Well, you're fasting for Jesus too, so you better shut up. I'm fasting for Jesus to look good when he comes to get me.
Wait. Well, it's not like you're going to be so heavy that he drops you.
He might not be able to lift me if I'm too fat.
This is my fault for having you on my podcast.
It's your fault for having me in the first place.
Well, I can't help it.
What?
This is not a good idea.
No, it is not.
We are in trouble.
Hi guys, it's Kerri Pomarolli.
And Lucy McGee.
And welcome back to our podcast.
This is not a good idea.
You didn't even know the name of it.
I just said
You
it.
paused.
I hesitant.
And for those of you watching on video, you can see that one of us did our hair today.
It was me.
No, it was not you. I'm not going to say that
You
one
didn't
of us
do your hair.
one of us needs a shower, but I'll just put that out there.
This is shower night. Shower night is tonight.
Yeah, exactly. It's Wednesday. Bath night for you. So Lucy, how have you been enjoying being my podcast host?
Host?
Yeah, co-host.
It was fun.
Yeah. Is it the highlight of your week?
No.
You're a liar. You're supposed to say yes and get excited.
Oh, yes, I am very excited that I am on this podcast.
Fantastic. So today we're going to talk about should we stay or should we go? Or alternate title, does California suck? So Andreas, welcome back. Have you been hearing about some of the comedians of the world and entertainers exiting California?
I heard about a bunch of
Like, do you know who
YouTubers.
Joe Rogan is?
Yeah.
He's gone.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? He's all over-
Tesla, Elon Musk.
He lived in California?
Let's not forget Gene Simmons, the
I have a question.
original singer of Kiss.
Te-
Yes.
No, but Elon Musk is super epically rich.
I think the reason people are leaving is because Meghan Markle and her prince moved to California, and I don't want to be in the same state with Meghan Markle. I think that's why I want to leave.
Why?
It's not because of taxes.
Oh, yeah.
Because she bugs me.
She's literally an activist. She's when she was little, she saw a soap commercial that said your mother's cleaned the dishes, and she petitioned and wrote them a letter and said that everyone cleans dishes is not just mothers. So
I can't
was-
tell you why she bugs me. She just does. Maybe it's because I'm not a princess and I want to live with Prince Harry in a quaint cottage in Santa Barbara.
I would
It's
find that quite disturbing.
5,000 square feet.
I would find that really disturbing.
If I left you to be with Prince Harry?
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of people are leaving California, and it seems to be a trend. And I'm having serious thoughts. I've been in California 20 years. There's a lot of reasons to stay, and there's a lot of reasons to go.
If anyone else is watching this in California, please explain to my mom why California is an amazing place.
Tell me why living in LA is amazing.
Everyone I've ever known lives here.
Okay, that's a true statement, but then that means you have no sense of adventure.
I have sense of adventure.
I want the
I almost
listeners.
died every day.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you did drink gasoline once when you were 4. I want the listeners who are listening to this to write in. You can write in and make comments on our YouTube page. You can write on my Instagram or my Facebook. Tell me where you live and if you like it. I'll tell you where we're not moving. Texas.
Why can't we move to New Jersey?
It's freezing.
What's wrong with that?
I don't want to live in the cold. I already lived in the cold. I'll
But
tell you
you
where.
want to live in Washington.
I
so-
want to live in Washington, north of Seattle, about 40 miles away from the crazy town.
Detroit.
I don't want to live in Detroit. But if we did live in Detroit, we could get a house.
Cleveland.
Wait, let's talk about Detroit. I'm from Detroit. I was raised in Detroit. You're not older enough to understand this, but I could get a house in Detroit for $5. Cash. They would be like, take it. I mean, it would get burned down the next day, but it would. But I'm from Detroit. We're the murder capital of the world, even though Chicago's giving us a good run for our money. I love Detroit. I love Eminem. I grew up on 7 Mile, and he did that movie 8 Mile. Do you know who Eminem is?
What happened to 9 Mile?
Yeah, there's a 9 Mile. But I think that living in the Pacific Northwest would be amazing, and I could become that hiker mom that I've always wanted to be.
You hate hiking.
I know, but if I moved to the Pacific Northwest, I might be more inspired.
We were literally in the not even the wilderness. We went to the atrium, and you started breaking down because you didn't want to go 1 more mile.
I know, but it was really hot that day.
No, it wasn't.
It was hot, and I don't technically...
You kept comparing it to Lost.
I did feel like we were lost in the atrium that day. Yeah, we should tell
We
people
were right next to a neighborhood. You could see the houses.
I know, but I felt lost. I felt sad.
There was a map.
So I do belong in LA because I don't like to walk or,
To New York
get out of
we
my
go.
car. New York would be great, except New York's going through some tough times right now.
What is that?
There's a little thing called COVID, and it hit New York, and New York has been like desecrated by COVID.
I
And
thought that was California.
yeah, California too. That is not a wrong statement. But I think Washington would great. Like we could hike, we could buy UGG boots together,
Ew.
like the ones that I'm wearing today, and we could do hiker biker things together.
You hate this stuff.
I know, but I'm trying to convince you that you want to move. I want to move because it's where they shoot a lot of Hallmark movies, and I want to live
Hallmark
in a Hallmark
is the
movie.
worst.
I want to live in a Hallmark movie town.
Oh no.
I do. I want to go to the bakery where everyone knows my
No,
name.
the real reason you want to live in a Hallmark movie town is so you can find a Hallmark movie boy.
Yes,
And you know you're only going to be able to do that in
Man.
Detroit because you know very well that nobody you know lives in Washington that's your age and is a guy.
I know, but I haven't met them. Maybe I'm at the bakery and some guy comes up and it's like, "Oh my gosh, we both like donuts. Let's get married."
We both I like donuts. I don't want to marry you.
But I'm just saying it could happen for me. It's not happening in LA.
Well,
I'm not meeting any guys in LA.
You're not trying.
Well, your father lives in my garage, so it's kind of hard right now. I mean, how do you think I should try to go? I'm not going on eHarmony.
Well,
They're
there's your
great.
problem. You're not putting yourself out there.
I'm not putting myself out there on the internet because it's
Being
a bunch of
a
psycho.
single mom is your whole comedian act.
Yeah, it is true. But I was married as a comedian. I'm flexible.
And then the whole unemployment thing, when you say that you're not a single mom anymore, they're going to give you, there's a less of a chance.
Now, here's this bad thing. If I get married before you go to college, you're screwed.
Why?
Andreas will tell you. Because then I have two incomes and it looks like you have money. And then you don't get a scholarship. And you don't get financial aid. Isn't this true? You want to be as poor as possible.
You
when your
know
kids are
very
fine.
well that I'm not going to be able to let you, it's not that I don't like the guys that, will come around someday eventually when
Yeah.
I scare them half to death. But, it's not that I don't like them. I'll totally just mess with them until they leave.
I really,
There's gonna be
though,
that one
would
guy who
like,
stays because he cares about you.
I would like to marry a lumberjack from Washington. Who,
You have way too many high hopes. He's gonna hack you when you are sleeping
No,
with his axe.
I feel like there's someone in Washington who has old money and he's sitting on his yacht and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I wish a single mom would come along with two adorable daughters." And remember we talked about the guy who summer in Italy? We have to have high hopes.
Italy's a different story.
We want a lumberjack who has a summer home in Italy.
Can we just move to Italy?
I would totally move to Italy, but I don't have a big comedy career there.
Then get something else.
What do you mean?
I don't
What
know.
can I do? I don't have any other job skills. We could do this podcast.
This
from
is
Italy.
true.
We could do this podcast from Italy and make millions of dollars.
How?
I don't know, but if anybody's listening and you want to chime in on how we could monetize this podcast.
Yeah, totally. Millions of dollars.
But there's other states to be considered, but I don't like any of them. I am not Southern. We would fail in the South.
No, I don't think we would.
We would fail. I would fail. People would hate me. Look what I'm wearing.
What's
This
wrong?
is the most anti-Southern. I'm wearing sweatpants during the day, and I'm not working out. I'm my mother. I'm wearing. If I was in the South, I would have to have pearls on, and
I
like
was
a
in the
collared
South,
shirt.
I think I'd get relentlessly teased.
You would get relentlessly bullied
Yes.
if you were in the South. They would call you not precious, is what I would say.
Not precious.
Why are you wearing headbands on your wrist?
Because I don't know when I'll ever need them.
I mean, so our style does not lend itself to the South.
Well, okay, then we'll stick with the North. I'm just not sure. The only reason I'm actually particularly interested in Washington because the grunge movement was started there. And
Horses, there's horses there.
that is not why I want to move.
Oh, so if I get you a house and there's a stable in the back, you'd
If
be
you
like,
get me a house and you let me decorate everything grungy and you let me go to those grunge boutiques, I'll be happy.
okay, grunge was 90s. Do you want to be 90s?
Do you want to be 70s?
No.
You always like, I love the 80s and the 70s. I wish I could dress like my mother.
Okay, my mother was 60s, so let's
60s, 70s, and 80s.
don't get it mixed up. It's different.
It was all three generations.
You're so ridiculous. You're doing that thing now when you're a child. And
I saw the pictures.
You make statements that are unintelligent.
The pictures said 70s.
Andreas will tell you that each generation has a different style, correct, Andreas? Yes.
She wore all three.
Yes, she wore all three, but the ones I liked are from the 60s.
All right, then you want to dress 60s.
I
so
want to
what
dress
is it?
60s.
So who are you to tell me that I can't dress 90s?
Because 90s was gross.
Oh my gosh. No.
You look like 90s right now.
Yeah, that's exactly why I like this outfit.
That's terrible.
Why?
Because it's gross.
Uh.
Long pause.
I
So-
am very uncomfortable with the energy we have created in the studio today.
So how should we fix it? Bring it back. Should we talk about your love life to end the episode?
We don't have a love life.
Well, you're working on one.
Oh, I am not.
There's some love life in your life.
No, there's not.
The people that are in your love life aren't likely to listen to this podcast, so I think we're okay.
I mean,
Do you think if you had a love life, you would bathe more than once a week?
I bathe more than once a week.
Twice? I mean, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I understand COVID, it's a hard time, and we need to save water, but, like, how do you feel about that?
I bathe through.
By the way, if anybody watches our show and Lucy doesn't have a hat on, that's because she took a bath. It's a huge day for everyone.
No, it's just because I like hats.
I think COVID is a great excuse for you not to do stuff.
Mm.
You're like, oh, I can't do laundry, COVID. Oh, I can't bathe, COVID.
Oh,
You know
I can't
what?
cuddle with mom.
It's like-
6 feet.
It's like me using polio. I can't, do housework because polio. I'm not, but I have a vaccine.
Yeah, well, that's your problem.
Yes, we're not going to go down that rabbit trail on our podcast, but
If I ever got COVID and you got the vaccine, I'll just cough in your face.
Okay, so that was really kind.
I know. I love you so much. I just want to share all of my diseases with you.
Really? Well, I want to say all of my genetics with you. So
Well,
if you
why
ever
don't you
get,
share the vaccine? I'm
if
kidding.
you get some really bad, like, crap, lower back pain when you're 40, just know that's from me.
If I get kidney stones, I know exactly
Yeah.
who it's from.
And if you like to overeat cookies in the middle of the night, that's your father.
Are you sure that's not you?
Well, there's a
Stealing the
there's a-
Nutella?
There's a fine line. Your father and I, who live together for your benefit, are dieting together.
I'm dieting.
We are. We're dieting together right
Dieting?
now, and he's a man, so he's lost 10 pounds.
You're
and
not
we-
dieting. You're quote unquote fasting for Jesus, aka I want to do something Christian, but at the same time, it's going to be for my benefit.
Man, why did you have to out me on the podcast?
I'm sorry.
Well, you're fasting for Jesus too, so you better shut up. I'm fasting for Jesus to look good when he comes to get me.
Wait. Well, it's not like you're going to be so heavy that he drops you.
He might not be able to lift me if I'm too fat.
Okay.
And by the way, in heaven, I'm going to have a perfectly awesome body, so maybe I shouldn't work on the one on earth.
Who do you picture yourself as in heaven?
I think I'm going to be hanging out with all the hot people. I think Mary Magdalene
Which
was,
one?
Mary Magdalene was hot.
Lean?
Mary Magdalene, the hooker in the
Magda-
Bible.
She's not.
If you're a prostitute, you're not ugly. Right, Andreas? Let's just call it what it is. I'm just saying. Who do I want to hang out with, heaven? I want to hang out with people that got stories.
Okay.
Patrick Swayze, perhaps.
What?
Who would you like to meet in heaven if you went to heaven right now?
All
Which
the
could happen.
people I idolize are not in
Patrick Swayze. Ruth Bader Ginsburg's in. Wow, we hope.
Yeah, I really hope she is. She's amazing. Yeah, I like Gandhi, but I know he's not there.
Well, don't get all political and
I
religious
wish
on
the
this
Buddha
podcast.
or like if
We
I
just
actually
lost
had
everyone who believes Gandhi's in heaven. Just
I
all
don't
those
care. If that
listeners.
man's in heaven, I'm happy. I mean, like, I have some questions for him.
What do you have questions for Gandhi?
How the frick do you not eat?
That's
And
a
do
good-
you like bananas?
Why would you ask Gandhi, do you like bananas?
It's an inside joke between me and class.
You can ask Gandhi anything in the whole free world, and you want to ask, do you like bananas?
It's an important question if you watch something.
Watch what?
It's this show.
What's it called?
It's embarrassing.
We'll put it in the show notes.
I'm not gonna do it.
Sesame Street?
No.
What is it?
If Gandhi was on Sesame Street, I'd like to meet Handy Manny in heaven.
Okay.
But
Your
I'd
father met
Okay,
me.
the minute I go to heaven, or if I do, I hope I make it. If I do,
You're on the fence right
if I do, I'm just gonna grab like one of those really powerful swords that I'm gonna have like an angel make for me,
now. Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna go to hell, and I'm gonna look for the man who created math, and I'm gonna slit his throat.
You know
open.
what? Take a number. You'll be right behind me. And you know who else I'll kill first is the man, and it's obviously a man, who invented Common Core. Because
Ah,
Common Core is like 2 + 2 is however you're feeling today, and if it's organic, and there's no right answer. Am I correct, Andreas? Like, we don't want to judge you. We don't want to judge you and tell you you're wrong because you will get your feelings hurt, and we know you didn't keep score in Little League. That's Common Core. That's Common Core. So I think on that note, we should end our podcast. But I'm going to ask you one question before we leave.
all right.
If and when you go to heaven, what would you like God to say to you? Is it that bad? It's that scandalous?
It kind of is.
Open your mouth. It's a podcast. Oh my gosh, this better be good for all this waiting. What do you want God to say to you? And it better be PG.
It's not.
Come on. What do you want God to say? You think God has a dirty mouth?
What the frick happened to your life?
You think that's what you want God to say to you?
You're just gonna just only believe, and then
This is
a
beautiful.
bunch of questions. I wish
This is beautiful. I'm raising
this
a daughter
guy
with a
though.
terrible
This
mouth.
guy, I can't remember who it was, but I have mad respect for him. He said and I quote. Well, he said, "I wish my first words were beginning quote, and my last words could be end quote, so my entire life could just be one long sentence."
Okay, because when I get to heaven, I want God to be like, come on in. That was what I was thinking. But, it's up to you.
Holy fertilizer.
That's what you want God to say to you.
Oh my gosh, I just realized that heaven might be like the good place. Oh, if everyone's perfect like that, that's just goody
Well,
two shoes.
I hope you get in for your sake.
That's creepy. I don't think I want to go to heaven. I don't.
So
it's
wait
not
a minute. I'm going to wrap this podcast up. We're moving to heaven from California. I think that's how we're going to end the podcast.
There's only one way to do that.
Right. We might.
Get a cord and just go weep.
Oh my gosh, you just talked about hanging. Oh my, we're going to get so many letters. And on that note, before it gets worse, I'm going to end the podcast. So say goodbye, Lucy.
Bye.
Find us on Spotify. Find us on iTunes. Find us on podcast platforms. Please send me your suggestions about how to be a better mom.